I read a lot of books and I like to save money. So in today's video, we're going to be going through all of the books that I have recently thrifted, as well as all the books I have recently purchased that were on sale. Sonnet here. How are you doing today? So happy to see you. So as I mentioned, I recently went to the thrift store and I bought a ton of books, and I also bought a ton of books for Amazon Prime Day. So we're going to be going through all of those. I love book shopping as much as the next person, but I do feel books can be pretty expensive when buying them brand new. So I do try to find deals and savings when I am shopping for books. That's just personally how I like to do it. Last week I went to 3 different thrift stores and found some great titles at great prices. So I'm excited to share those titles with you, as well as how much I paid for each one. And today is Prime Day for Amazon, and I also went a little bit overboard in buying books on sale, of course. So we're gonna go ahead and be going over all of those as well. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the book haul. First book that I'm going to be sharing with you today, The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I mean, come on. Does this book need any introduction? I don't think so. I have been looking everywhere for this book, and I was really close to buying it brand new, but I knew that I would be able to find this one used, so I just waited it out. I went to the thrift store and I found this one for $1.99. Totally worth it. It's in perfect shape. This says here, The Fault in Our Stars brilliantly explores the funny, thrilling, and tragic business of being alive and in love. Next up, we have How to Train Your Dragon, book number 1. I found this book for $2.49 at the thrift store. Also another book that I don't think has ever been read. I loved the movie, and I didn't realize until I went to the thrift store that this was a book series. Apparently there's a lot of them too, but I picked up the first one. I thought this would be a really fun read. You guys know I love a good middle grade children's book moment, so I can't wait to read this one, and I'm really looking forward to actually reading this one to my kiddo when she's maybe a little bit older. This is a book about Hiccup and how he learns to capture and train dragons. Next up, we have The Adventure Zone, Here There Be Goblins. This is the illustrated exploits from the podcast, My Brother and Me. This one was $2.99. Now, my husband actually picked this one out. I don't know if he meant it for me or for himself. I'm sure for both. But yeah, this is basically the graphic novel from the podcast, from my understanding. I actually don't know. I don't know too much about this one. All I know is he found this and he was way excited, and so naturally, I'm way excited. Next, we have 3 short stories in one book. This is Let It Snow from John Green, Maureen Johnson, and Lorena Myrickle. These are 3 holiday romances. It was $3.49, and I decided to pick this one up because, again, I've been really wanting to read a lot more John Green stuff. I love a good holiday romance. Obviously, this is not one that I'm going to be reading this summer, but once the winter and Christmas time rolls around, I'll definitely be picking this one up. This essentially follows 3 different stories that all take place one Christmas Eve. There's a big snowstorm that happens, and the residents of Gracetown are captured in the middle of this storm. And yeah, 3 romantic things happen, I guess. Next up, we have a book that I was so excited to find, and that was Nevermore, The Trials of Morgan Crow. This is by Jessica Townsend, and I found this one for $2.99, and it even came with an adorable little bookmark. So that's great. Very Lisa Frank looking. But essentially, this book is about Morgan, and she is cursed. She's very unlucky, and she gets whisked away to the town, or to the magical world of Nevermore. And while there, she wants to join a magical society, but she's got to do trials and things. Don't know too much about this. All I know is that this is a middle grade book that gets raved about. I have been wanting to read it for so long. I have been meaning to pick it up, and when I found it at the thrift store for such a good price, I knew it was coming home with me. Next up, we have The Very, Very Far North by Dan Burrell. I found this one for 99 cents, and I thought the cover was adorable, and I read the back and I was like, yes please. If someday you wander north, truly north, to to the northern part of North, and you come across the cold, cold ocean. Follow its shoreline to a beach that's just right for napping. There you'll find Dwayne, the polar bear, and his friends. It sounds so stinking cute. On the back, it has these adorable little illustrations of Dwayne the polar bear. There's an owl named CC and Handsome, a musk ox. It was 99 cents. This is a perfect, like, middle grade story that I think is gonna be great for the winter time, and it's gonna be so cozy and sweet and cute, and I just couldn't resist. Next up is a book that I have been looking for some time, and my husband kept telling me, just wait. You're gonna find it at the thrift store and it's gonna be great. Well, I went to 3 different thrift stores and I found about 7 copies at each one. And this was the best copy that I found, and that is Wicked by Gregory Maguire. I found this one for $2.99, and this was the best conditioned one that I had found, and yeah, I decided to pick this one up. I have never read Wicked. We know this story. This is the story of the Wicked Witch of the West and how she became so wicked. I have been wanting to read this book. We will be going and seeing Wicked next summer when it arrives, so I figured I would go ahead and pick this one up and hopefully read it before we go and see the musical, and that way I can finally say, I've done it, I've read Wicked. Well, funny enough, after I found Wicked, I found Son of a Witch by Gregory Maguire. This is the second book to Wicked, and this follows Lear. And this is after Elphaba is done in by Dorothy, and he has to do something, or I don't know. I don't know what this one's about. Apparently, he might be Elphaba's son. Who knows? I found this one right next to Wicked, and it was also $2.99, and so I was like, you know what? Why not? Why not? I'm getting Wicked. Might as well pick this one up as well. The next book that I have is not for me. It is for my kiddo, but I am so excited I found it. And that is Goodnight Stories for Rebel Girls. This was written by Elena Favilli and Francesca Cavallo. And essentially this is stories of 100 heroic women. It has these beautiful illustrations. We read to my kiddo every night before bed. Jane Goodall, oh my goodness. I love to crochet iconic women for my kiddo, and this is a perfect companion for some of those iconic women that I have crocheted for her, and I can't wait to teach her all about these inspiring and heroic women throughout history. The next book I found is called Other Woods, and this is by Pete Hotman. Now, the main reason I bought this book is because it is blurbed on the back by Kelly Barnhill, whom I love. Let me just read this bottom piece here. This is a book about loss, memory, and the destructive nature of secrets, but also about how friendship, truth, and perseverance have the power to knit a torn apart world back together. Ah! I love it. This little blurb on the back here by Kelly Barnhill also says, Otherword is my favorite kind of novel, a sly story that slips quickly and easily between the known and the unknown, between tenderness and grief, between what is and what might be, where a buried secret and a hidden hurt is as dangerous and powerful as any other powerful danger in the deep, dark wood. It just seemed interesting, and I love the cover. I think it's fantastic, and it was $1.99, so perfect. Next up we have Mouse. This is the second one, and here my troubles began. I actually thrifted the first one a couple months ago, and I've been waiting to read it until I found the second one, which I did. It was $2.49, and I'm really excited I found it. I believe I read Mouse back in high school, but I can't quite remember, about this book, and I'm so excited that I found the second one, and when I'm in the right headspace for this one, can't wait to be diving into these. Next we have Gilded Mountain by Kate Manning. I saw the cover of this book and I was like, wow, that looks beautiful. I'm curious what that's about. It was $3.99, and then I read the inside flap, and it says here, set in early 1900s Colorado, the unforgettable tale of a young woman who bravely faces the consequence of speaking out against injustice. Drawn from true stories of Colorado history, Gilded Mountain is a tale of a bygone American West seized by robber barons and settled by immigrants, and is a story fused with longing for self-expression and equality, freedom, and adventure. I love historical fiction. Historical fiction about Colorado? Yes, please. To be 100% honest, a big reason why I bought this book is because it takes place in Colorado. I live in Colorado, and it says here, drawn from true stories of Colorado history, which made me very intrigued. Any kind of Colorado history that I can get my hands on, even if it is historical fiction, I'm all about. The next book on this list is one that I put back and picked up and put back and picked up numerous times, and that is Armada by Ernest Cline. Now listen, I loved Ready Player One. Who didn't love Ready Player One? And I am curious about this one. This is a story about Zach, and he loves science fiction and video games, and one night he sees a flying saucer, and this flying saucer is actually one from the video games that he plays. It sounded really intriguing, and again, I really loved Ready Player One, and so I was really, really curious about this one. It was $1.99, and so at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up. Yeah. The next book I found is a little bit different. I don't have the price anymore because it was brand new and it had like the wrap all around it. It was $4.99, I believe. But this is called The Writing Box. And in it you get 3 different books. You get Write Your Own Storybook, which says it's here to help. It's full of inspiring ideas for all kinds of different stories with space for you to write them in and writing tips to help you on your way. There's also the writing journal, which is just a lined journal to help with writing. And then also the creative writing book, which says it has prompts and tips to create poems, comics, reviews, stories, blogs, scripts, and more. Now, I believe this is geared more towards younger authors, but I was really curious about this. I've mentioned it in the past. I want to write and illustrate my own children's book at some point in my life, and so I thought maybe this might be kind of fun to pick up and play around with. And for $4.99, I don't know. I just thought it was a good deal. Next, we have Ghosts of a Green Glass House by Kate Milford. This one was $2.99. It doesn't have the dust jacket, which is a little unfortunate. This is number 2 in the Green Glass House series. I do want to find Green Glass House, the first one, but I saw this and I was really excited because I have been wanting to read this series, so I went ahead and I picked it up, and yeah. Next, we have Ghosts by Raina Telgemeier. This is the story of Katrina and her little sister Maya. They move to Northern California because Maya is unfortunately sick, and the air of Southern California is going to help with that, and they quickly learn that there are ghosts about. I wasn't going to pick this one up, but as you know, I am doing a July Summerween type of themed reading this month, and I saw this and I thought it would be perfect to add to my reading list for the month. So yeah, Summerween, ghosts, ghost graphic novel, it all just seemed to work out. And last up from my thrift store buys, I think is probably the coolest find that I found, and that is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. You know about this book. This book has been everywhere for a while, and my husband has read this book and has even told me, hey, you should probably read this one. And I was going to eventually get around to it, and then I found it at the thrift store for $2.99. And I believe this one was half off at the time. So this is a story of a young woman who makes the bargain to live forever, but part of that bargain means that nobody remembers who she is. Then about 300 years later, she stumbles upon somebody who remembers her name. Super, super cool. I'm so excited I found this, especially for $2.99, half off. And yeah, next up was not a book that I thrifted. However, I did get it for a good deal. It was my pick for book of the month this month, and that is The First Ladies by Marie Benedict and Victoria Christopher Murray. This follows Mary McLeod Bethune and Eleanor Roosevelt. It's a historical fiction based around two historical figures, and they form a friendship during the 1940s. I have read Marie Benedict books in the past. I love historical fiction, and a book about Eleanor Roosevelt, who was an amazing woman, and civil rights activist Mary McLeod Bethune. I couldn't pass it up. I am so excited to read it. I might not read it this month, but I will be getting to it very, very soon. So next are all of the books that I bought on sale during Amazon Prime Day. Today is June 11th, and it is Prime Day today, and I found a couple of books that I have been wanting to read that were on special, so I decided to pick them up. The first book is As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow. I don't think I'm going to pronounce the author's name correctly, and I apologize about that. Zulfa Cato. I have been wanting to read this book for a little bit. I've heard some wonderful things about it, and I think the cover is just gorgeous. Let me go ahead and read the little blurb on Amazon here. It says, "A love letter to Syria and its people, As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow, is a speculative novel set amid the Syrian revolution, burning with the fires of hope, love, and possibility. Perfect for fans of The Book Thief and Salt to the Sea." Again, I bought this one on Prime Day, and it was on sale for $7.34. The next book that I purchased on Prime Day is Wayward by Amelia Hart. This one was on sale for $12.59, and again, I've been hearing a lot about this book, and the cover is so me. I love it. I have been wanting to get a raven tattoo for so long, and viewing this book cover might just inspire me to book my appointment for my next tattoo. The little blurb on Amazon here says, "A brave and original debut, Wayward is a spellbinding story about what may transpire when the natural world collides with a legacy of witchcraft." Weaving together the stories of three extraordinary women across 5 centuries, Amelia Hart's Wayward is an enthralling novel of female resilience and the transformative powers of the natural world. Next up, I purchased Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. Another John Green added to this video. I have been wanting to read this one as well, and this one was on sale for $6.83. This is the story of 16-year-old Asa Holmes, who is a high school student and suffers from OCD and anxiety, and she is trying to find a fugitive billionaire. Again, I hear so many wonderful things about this one, and when I saw it on sale, I knew I had to pick it up. The next book that I purchased is Floriography, an illustrated guide to a Victorian language of flowers by Jessica Rue. Now, this is a Kindle Unlimited book, but books like this, I just have to have a physical copy of. Listen to this. So the little blurb on Amazon here says, "A charming, gorgeously illustrated botanical encyclopedia for your favorite romantic, local witch, bride-to-be, or green-thumbed friend." I love beautiful botanical illustrations, and again, the cover of this book, holy guacamole, is it gorgeous. And it was on sale for $11.69. The last physical book that I did purchase was actually a box set of 3, and that was the Caraval Box Set by Stephanie Garber. This includes Caraval, Legendary, and Finale. I hear some great things about this one, and I hear some not so great things about this one, but it was on sale for $32.99 for the entire box set, so I knew I had to pick it up. The cover of these as well, just gorgeous. Do you see a theme? I'm not going to go over the synopsis of all 3 books, but let me just go ahead and read you just a little blurb here on Amazon. It says, "Welcome to the world of Caraval. Stephanie Garber's sweeping tale of the unbreakable bond between 2 sisters and the game that is more than what it seems." I have a sister. I have an unbreakable bond, I feel, with my sister. She is my best friend. I love her so much. And this is a YA fantasy, and I hear good things. So I had to pick it up. And again, they're beautiful books. That's it for all the physical books that I bought on Prime Day, but I did also pick up 4 digital books, so let's go ahead and go over those really quickly as well. I picked up The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy by Megan Banning. Amazon says this is a uniquely charming mixture of whimsy and the macabre that completely won me over. If you ever wished for an adult romance that felt like Howl's Moving Castle, this is that book. This was recommended to me on my Storygraph, so I decided to pick it up. I did have some Amazon Kindle digital credits, so I ended up getting this one for $1.99. The next one is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana. I hear so many great things about this one. From my understanding, it's a super cozy book about witches and found family, and it just seems perfect come fall. Then I picked up A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking by T. Kingfisher. This one was $4.99, and I have been wanting to read this book since I started getting back into reading. I hear such amazing things about T. Kingfisher's books, and this one in particular, I can't wait to dive into this one. It seems like the perfect, cozy, silly, magical read. And the last Kindle book that I purchased was $3.99, and that is Arrival Most Vile, Potioneering for Love and Profit by R.K. Ashwick. From my understanding, this book sounds like an enemies to lovers type of romance between two potion brewers. This was also recommended to me on my Storygraph. I think the cover is really cute, but let me go ahead and read the synopsis. Any adventurer worth their sword knows about Ambrose Beak. The proud, quiet half-elf sells the best and only potions in the city until a handsome new shopkeeper named Eli opens another potion shop across the street, throwing Ambrose's peace and ledgers far off balance. Within weeks, they're locked in a war of price tags and products. Ambrose's expertise against Elia's effortless charm. Toll leads to trouble. The safety gloves come off, and right as their rivalry reaches a boiling point, a mayor commissions them to brew a potion together. This sounds so good. I am so excited to read this one. Whew. Again, I'll be picking this one up sooner rather than later. This is going to be, I believe, the perfect fall, intro to fall kind of read. Getting so ready for those Halloween vibes. And that's it for my book haul. Those are all the books that I bought from the thrift store. Those are all the books I bought from Amazon Prime Day and all of the Kindle books that I bought as well. So let me know, did you pick up any books recently? I'm curious to know if you have any fun reading plans coming up. Thank you so much for being here. I love you so much. And until next time, I will see you all a little later. Bye.